Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Print Storage here. This is our 2022 Subaru WRX Sport with the eyesight. Brand new redesign for the 2022 model year. New engine, new platform, new body style in the ceramic white. One of the big things lots of people talk about, the new engine for these. Doesn't really look a whole bunch different than the previous WRX engine bay. It's a 2.4 liter turbo instead of the 2 liter turbo. Looks very, very familiar. A little bit more power, running 12 pounds of boost instead of 18. So you get 3 more horsepower than the previous gen, running 6 pounds less boost. Pretty cool. Pretty much everything under the hood in yellow is what the average consumer is going to touch. Dipstick, coolant, oil filters are still up top, washer fluid, brake fluid, top mount intercoolers right there, air filters right there. Like, very, very simple. It looks very, very comparable. I really like the ceramic white. I like the new body style quite a bit, especially this hood. I like that this hood scoop's a little bit wider. It looks more aggressive to me. I think it's a really good looking front end. They changed the grille. And as I mentioned, this is the Sport with the eyesight. So automatic transmission, this is as basic as you can get with an automatic transmission, which still very, very well equipped. The black cladding on the base, around the wheel wells, that they really show, it shows up really, really well. It contrasts on the white. I know lots of people like black and white Stormtrooper vehicle. You've got functional vents right here, airflow, brake cooling, aerodynamics at the back. All of the Sports and the Sport Techs come with this little lip spoiler on the trunk. The base model manuals come with a naked, everything else comes with these. And you have more functional vents down here at the base. I don't know if you can see it, there is some white paint in there. You can see that it is actually functional. Really, really quiet when not under load. It does have a nice thump to it, that boxer rumble. We do have the backup sensors with the automatic, and they will actually do reverse automatic braking. If it thinks you're gonna hit something at speeds of between 1 and 15 kilometers an hour, it's terrifying when it works, but it's the best thing ever for parking lots. It's great. Now, the trunk, a little bit larger than the previous gen, half a liter more storage. It just looks like they've used the space a little bit better. Seems like it's deeper to me, but still really, really nice. Lots of storage, tow hook, tire underneath here. And I was actually asked just the other day on one of my other videos if it's an 18-inch rim. This one is a 17-inch rim, so a 205/50 R17. Overall diameter is the same because it's all-wheel drive, but it's not a matching alloy. It's a steel, and it's a 17. And these are 18s. So they're 245/40 R18s on this. Oh, this would help if I actually unlocked it. But in the second row, despite being a sporty car, there's still a decent amount of room for passengers. Good headroom, good leg room, especially when you consider it's a performance car. And it's this black cloth with the red contrast stitching. Red has always kind of been the STI and high-end WRX interior contrast color. Cloth is really comfortable. You have 2 USB ports there, keep everyone connected on those longer trips. Media storage. These little blanks, those would be heated seats in the Sport Tech. I'm sure someone could easily retrofit one if they absolutely wanted to. Not something that we've done yet, but armrest with cup holders if there's only 1 or 2 passengers in the rear, and you do have bottle holders down here. Tilt and slide sunroof. So again, this is the entry level with the automatic, still very, very well equipped tilt and slide sunroof. We have these little doors here, and they will flip up, and you actually bolt the roof rack to it. So it's very, very secure. Power windows, locks, mirrors, as you would expect. Bottle holder, power driver's seat. Again, the black cloth with the red contrast stitching on the interior. And these seats, you still end up with bolsters on these, and they are fairly firm, but they're not uncomfortable. They hold you in the corners well when you're cornering aggressively or at higher speeds. On the inside here, left-hand side of the dash, you can open the trunk, you can turn off traction control, and then this is the brightness for the gauges. That dot, it's all the way on. That's as dim as it gets. So it's kind of bright out, so I'm gonna have the brightness up today. Steering wheel is D-shaped. You do have the flat bottom there. Feels nice in your hands. Left-hand side of the steering wheel, we have our Bluetooth and audio controls. You can make and take calls, control the volume of the calls and the music. These little arrows down here in this eye that enter or select, the arrows will change the small center display, boost gauge to fuel economy for trip A, trip B, how long it's been running versus distance traveled, what you're listening to. I like the boost gauge. I think most people like the boost gauge. Right hand side here, we have our adaptive cruise, our lane centering, and our drive mode. So with the automatic, the Subaru Performance transmission, you get intelligent and sport, and intelligent and sport sharp. So you can see bottom left here by the P for park, it says S for sport, I for intelligent, sport, sport sharp. So you've got everyday driving, sporty driving, full-on race car. And it won't let you go into sport sharp mode if the engine and transmission are not warm enough. So it self-protects itself. Headlights, fog lights. You can't accidentally turn your headlights off. It defaults to auto, which is a handy feature. Fog lights are linked to the headlights. So if your headlights are on, your fog lights come on, but you can turn them off. And then when you turn on the cruise, you get an image of the WRX there. You can see the brakes are on. Brakes off because I took my foot off. You can see there's 4 bars ahead of it all the way down to 1. That's the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you follow at if you catch up while using cruise. So 100 kilometers an hour and 4 bars, you'll follow that person ahead of you roughly at 150 to 180 feet. Good follow distance up here in the north. That's what I recommend. Turn on lane centering. So it will actually, if the cameras, which are these 2 black boxes there and there, if they can see the road lines, it'll actually illuminate on either side of that follow distance. They'll illuminate solid white. So you can actually turn it off. So if you only want the warning buzzer, no actual steering correction, you can turn that off. You can have just steering correction. You'll notice that orange light went off. That means it won't beep at you if you start crossing lines. You can turn everything off, or you can have all the functions. And that's actually controlled from your giant screen here. But the lane centering's great above 60 kilometers an hour. I don't recommend it around town, but the second half of a long highway trip, it's awesome. You're far less fatigued at the end of a day of driving with it, in my opinion. And then, of course, I already mentioned these, but your drive modes, easily accessible. You don't have to be stopped to do that. It's on the fly. 11.6 inches of touchscreen goodness. Easy to use, easy to read. And right now, I'm in the functions, so driving assistance. So from the home screen, if you wanted to turn off the beeping if you start crossing lines, that sort of thing, it's under here, down under car. And you've got vehicle control, go to driving assistance, lane departure prevention function. You can make it just the prevention function, just the warning. You can turn it all off, up to you, depending. You get to kind of customize how you want to drive. Under others, you can change the warning volume for anything to high, mid, or low. Units, if you're traveling in the States, you can change your digital speedometer to miles an hour. You can see down there it says 0 mph. Switch that back so we don't confuse anyone who gets in here. Vehicle control, auto vehicle hold, it's a brake holder for construction traffic, drive-through traffic, the like. And cruise control characteristics. So how fast you'll accelerate after that person either takes off ahead of you or turns off, you get into the passing lane. It's pretty cool how you can adjust that. But they've kind of broken this into 3 portions. You've got the top portion here, and that is what you're listening to, water temp, oil temp, and average speed of the trip. And that's actually something you can customize. You can change those around. Most people like the water temp, oil temp one. And then weather. So that's part of the satellite radio trial. And it just comes from factory set to DC Metro. Not exactly sure why that's the case. It just is. But you can switch that to Prince George. It has most major locations. Got your center portion here, your radio, your media, which is your Bluetooth, your USB, your aux cord. Apps is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You've got access to the My Subaru app, which you get a 3-year trial to. And with the automatic WRX, you actually get the remote start portion of that. And because of the glare on the screen, I'm actually just going to turn this car at a different angle and see if we can change that. So I got to take one of these Subaru Performance transmissions for a drive the other day. It's a very, very nice transmission. I was very impressed with the rev match on the downshifts. It was cool. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. If you have the chance to try driving one, I recommend you do. It's very handy. Backup camera's nice. You'll notice that those lines are tapered, green, yellow, red. If the tapered lines don't fit between the vehicles, you're not going to fit between the vehicles. You can see rear assist braking's on, parking sensors are on. So if it thought I was going to run into that Crosstrek or that Toyota Sienna really, really fast, it would apply the brakes. Terrifying when it works. Like I said, RAB you can turn off. Same thing with the parking sensors. You just press and hold, and it's off. Goes gray. I guess adjusting that car didn't really help with the glare. Sorry about that. Back in there. And then the bottom down here, you've got the third portion of that. There is more to do in settings and car info and setting up your phone for Bluetooth. That's something that you can go over with your salesperson in person or me. If you have questions, please put them in the comments below. I'll happily show you guys more about the car if there's something specific you want to see. It is dual zone climate control. You have the physical buttons on either side, or press and you can just touch. But because it is kind of warm out, especially in the sun here, I'm going to put it back to that. And if the passenger wanted something different, easy. Passenger gets out, hits sync, it goes back to driver control. That's where you turn on the heated seat. 3 stages of heated seat for the driver and the passenger. Below that here, we have 2 USBs. So that'll do charging, allow you to play music through a USB, hook up for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, aux cord for music listening, 12 volt for any charging needs you may have. Then this is rubberized, so if you put a device in there, it's less likely to slide around when you're cornering. Subaru performance transmission. You do have drive and you have manual mode, and you've got your paddle, upshift and downshift. And actually, I haven't really looked at the back, but it's just click. They've changed them. It's a pretty nice, it's quick, easy to use. It responds really quickly. I was very, very impressed with it myself. Park brake, pull up to turn it on, red light. You still get the red light on the dash there. Now, my foot's not on the brake, and I'm gonna push down on it to turn it off. To press the brake, foot on the brake, push down, and it comes off. Even the entry level automatic WRX, and I keep saying entry level, this is really your mid trim level. You just have a whole bunch of options in it, which is very cool. Auto dimming rear view mirror. There's no switch to flick if someone's behind you with their high beams on, automatically dims. It is one of the best features ever. It's my favorite feature in any vehicle. Below that, on the bottom here, you've got the home link system. So you can hook up to 3 separate garage doors to your mirror. Very, very easy. There's a bunch of videos that show how to do it. It's pretty simple. There's 3 different ways. One of them requires 2 people, depending upon the age of the box. I'll see if I can't find that video link and put it in the description below. Got a compass in there. Up top here, we have the SOS and the concierge/roadside assistance buttons. That's part of your 3-year trial of the connected services that you get. SOS, calls for help. That'll get you roadside. Sunroof controls, tilt and slide, easy to use. And again, these 2 boxes, those black boxes, those are your eyesight cameras. And this is the newest, latest, and greatest eyesight system. I think they call it 4.0. The Forester got it first, and essentially what it did was it gave you a wider field of vision, which is very, very cool. It was good before, it's even better now. They made it so you can't actually touch the camera because it goes right to the glass, which is very cool. But yeah, all that safety stuff. And the automatic emergency braking that's part of that actually saves you 10% on your basic insurance here in BC. But I'll give you guys another quick walk around of the car. I think it's an attractive looking car. Even with the black cladding, I know some people aren't huge fans of it. I think it suits it. From a distance, it looks like it sits much, much higher. Kind of keep that rally heritage, that rally look. Even at the back here, I understand why they did all the black cladding. And it is in areas where that would typically get marked up with rocks. So I like it, it's functional. And I have seen some people online, some companies paint the black pieces of the cladding body color, and I think it looks pretty sharp. So that's a brief overview of the 2022 Subaru WRX Sport with the Subaru Performance Transmission, or Sport with the eyesight. I'm Tyson, the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George. If you have any questions about this car, about any of the cars in our lineup, or any of the features, please put your comments and questions in the below, and I'm more than happy to try to answer them or get you how-to videos on how to accomplish what you're looking to do with your Subaru. I'll talk to you guys soon.